Now, I always want to make better videos. I always look for new plots, new ideas. And when you think about making good videos, it might be beneficial to pick up a book that's called How to Shoot Videos That Don't Suck. I just picked up this at Chapters here in Canada for $16.95. And actually it's a pretty decent read. The author is Steve Stockman. And this guy has lots of experience directing and producing various movies. And one quote here says, "Stockman skips past all the technical crap and cuts right to the chase. How do you shoot a video somebody else will want to watch?" And another guy says, like 2 years of film school in 248 pages. And actually it's pretty good. And I just started reading this. And to give you just kind of a couple of pointers here, you'll need to buy your own copy, to get to take a full advantage of this. But there's a quick start guide. It's like, I think it's chapter 1 and chapter 2. And here's some pointers. Point 1: think in shots. Don't shoot continuous. Think in shots and make them short. Number 2: don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes. Basically the idea is to shoot at close range. Point number 3: keep your shots under 10 seconds long. That's probably my favorite. It really makes your video dynamic when your frame, like the material inside the frame, changes fast, and you don't keep it rolling the same type, like sometimes I do in my movies, because there's nothing's happening when you drive down the road. Point number 4: zoom with your feet. Basically, he's against all zooming. He says disable, never use a digital zoom, and basically walk to your object. Probably that's the hardest for me to use. Point number 5: stand still, stop fidgeting, no zooming during shots. So here the idea is treat your cam as if it was a still camera. And basically, he says the principle is move, point, shoot, stop. Don't move the camera or camcorder while you're shooting. That's a really simple point, but it's very useful. Point number 6: keep the light behind you. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm sitting in front of the window, and I made sure all the lights behind me are turned off. I'm in a hotel room. And there's a huge window in front of me. Like, see, my face here is wider, but I couldn't shoot like just facing the window because I don't have a tripod with me. So point number 7: turn off the camera's digital effects. And I think I was using some souped up options like contrast and stuff like that, that make your skin look better. So forget it. I turn off all the effects there. So he says you can, the simpler it is, the better. You can always compensate for that in post-production, on your computer. Number 8: focus on what interests you, really interests you. So when you shoot a video, he means just try to focus on things that you would like to watch if you were watching this video made by someone else. Don't shoot like generic stuff. Just show people what is really interesting about that idea or that plot. Point number 9: don't use titles. Now, I use titles in all my movies, Then recently I changed. I've been paying attention to what they do with the feature films, And in feature films, you rarely see titles rolling down on a black screen. I think that I found that the most typical beginning of a movie is they show something in motion, like they will show, let's say, a shot from a helicopter, on a town, and basically things move inside the frame, or they'll show just people walking on the sidewalk, and then you see the titles right on the picture. When something is happening in the frame, you see the titles. And so that's why I started changing that, and I discovered that even the simple free movie maker, you're able to do that just by dragging that little band towards your frame, So now you'll see that in all my movies I just use the title right there on the screen where the frame is already filled with motion. A very good point. And number 10, keep your videos short. Always leave them wanting more. And he says if TV commercials can tell a complete story, entertain us and sell us all in 30 seconds, then there's no point. You should make your videos long. And when in doubt, cut it out. Basically keep it short. Number 11, use an external microphone. And that's, I've been wanting to do this, but it's really, cams that have that port are expensive, and I thought I can use it in my cam, in my Panasonic, but I only have a USB connector, and I think I have a AVI connector. Yeah, A/V. So I can hook up the cam to the TV, but there's no mics. The mic is located on the front part. So it works fine in a quiet room like this, but when you're outside, I'll just show you a couple of examples. So yeah, it's a really great idea, but I went to Best Buy and he says, yeah, pick up a simple clip-on mic at Best Buy for $25. Yeah, right. I go there, they have no idea what I'm talking about, and the sales assistant comes over and she's just going to help you. And I ask her these specific questions. Of course, she doesn't know the answer. She calls someone else, and that guy says, a more experienced salesperson says, yeah, you need a cam with the specific mic port. It's like looks like a little hole, just a round hole, and it says mic. So I don't know if I just hate the idea of splashing on a new cam just to be able to use an external mic. And number 12, he says, make a promise to yourself that you're not gonna make movies that suck. But I mean, that's all in all pretty decent read. So I just started this, and I really recommend this book to anyone who wants to make good videos. And armed with this initial knowledge, I went around Cambridge, Ontario today, Sunday, April, 7th, and I started taking short clips of things, like the main topic being spring is in the air, and trying to remember what Mr. Stockman recommends to keep your camera still. Don't use zoom, and think in shots and keep it short. So let's see what kind of video I made using this book.